Hi, I'm Teresa Wessel, Executive Director of Horizon House, and I've worked with Leslie for over 10 years. During that time, I have witnessed Leslie's dedication and passion to ending homelessness here in our community. She epitomizes our core values of treating every person with respect, dignity, and hospitality. Leslie is totally committed to do what it takes to end homelessness in Indianapolis and tirelessly works towards that goal each and every day. When I think about Leslie's qualities, integrity, dedication, and compassion are on the top of that list. I believe Leslie demonstrates her advocacy and tireless leadership in ending homelessness in our community. I am so very proud of Leslie for receiving this award. I want to congratulate you and thank you for all that you do on behalf of our neighbors.
Our mission at Horizon House is to connect people who are experiencing homelessness to resources and services that can help them get housed and stay stably housed. That just sounds so simple to me. The idea that people who are experiencing homelessness need a place to live and we can help them get a place to live. But it wasn't very long at all after I came to Horizon House that I really started to understand the complexities of the work that we do.
First and foremost, she brought me on and said, hey, we're going to shift from a mission model to a professional model. And she did that. And I was honored to work alongside her the many, many steps and the many years and hard work to be able to do that. And another example is now the housing program. Wow, congratulations. It's done a fantastic job. It's just going to continue to grow from that. She was a big advocate for that. And so she, again, has this vision and she's like a bulldog and she just goes with it. And she is inspiring to those of us that work alongside. She leads with compassion. She leads with a commitment to social justice, commitment to equality, passion for making sure that people are heard. The impact that you have on people's lives is tremendous and phenomenal. And it's a privilege to know you. And it's a privilege to have worked alongside of you. So congratulations, Leslie. Keep it up. Thank you.
And it really, it just makes me want to work that much harder to do whatever little bit that I can do to try to make a better way for people that don't have a place to call home.
She is so personally invested and really caring about people. She cares about individual folks. She cares about staff. She cares about the broader community. She's highly skilled in her abilities to lead, to program, to connect with folks. And I'm beyond excited for her to receive this award. It's been such an honor and a privilege to work alongside Leslie, and I wish her all the best.
Part of what has kept me doing the work for so many years are the people. And I'm thinking about the neighbors that we serve.
I want to share a quick story that tells the two things that I love and admire about Leslie the most. Recently, during this pandemic, I asked Leslie if she could go to dinner, have a drink with me, because I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't know which way to go with all this information. And of course, Leslie says yes. That's the number one thing I love about you. You take the time to listen to your staff, your peers, your colleagues, and you're a good listener. You can be trusted. I so appreciate that. And during dinner, I asked you how you could take on this new project that you recently said yes to, when I know your plate is fuller than mine. And you looked at me and you said, because it's the right thing to do and it needs to be done. And I just thought, God, I love this woman. Leslie, thank you for inspiring. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for all the time you dedicate to this. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your friendship. Congratulations, my friend.
But the part of this work that has seemed simple to me from day one and still seems very simple to me is the value and the importance of the work. It's the right thing to do. It's the ethical thing to do. And just Deep in my heart, I believe that no person, no human being deserves to be homeless. I'm honored to be able to be a part of doing that work with everybody that's here tonight. Our mission at Horizon House is to connect people who are experiencing homelessness to resources and services that can help them get housed and stay stably housed. That just sounds so simple to me. The idea that people who are experiencing homelessness need a place to live and we can help them get a place to live. But it wasn't very long at all after I came to Horizon House that I really started to understand the complexities of the work that we do. I, of course, from my other work in various human service organizations, I understood the complexities of the challenges that a lot of our neighbors face. But I learned pretty quickly that they're also navigating systems that are pretty confusing, that sometimes don't work well together. And we as service providers are also trying to navigate all of those systems to help and empower our neighbors to be able to get housed and stay in their housing. But the part of this work that has seemed simple to me from day one and still seems very simple to me is the value and the importance of the work. It's the right thing to do. It's the ethical thing to do. And just deep in my heart, I believe that no person, no human being deserves to be homeless, that we all deserve to have a place to call home that is safe and that feels like a refuge for us. When I came to Horizon House in early 2008, I really didn't have a lot of experience working with people who didn't have housing. I had about a year of work that I had done right before coming to Horizon House, where I was helping people who were newly released from prison that didn't have housing and didn't have employment, and I was helping them kind of re-enter and resettle in the community and get a job and get a place to live. And beyond that, I had very little professional experience with homelessness. But I did have a personal experience with someone who, interestingly enough, was not homeless when I met him, but very easily could have been. It was in the late 90s when I married my husband. His parents lived in California. His dad was experiencing mental illness and had been for a number of years. And he would have been homeless had it not been for my mother-in-law, who, although she didn't have a lot herself, she made sure that my husband's dad had rent paid for him every week at a motel. And my father-in-law lived in a motel in Anaheim at the time. My mother-in-law made sure that he had food, cigarettes, a warm place, and that motel rent got paid every week. And it was her love, commitment, and sacrifice that kept my father-in-law from being on the streets. And I'm quite sure that he probably wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for the sacrifices that she made and everything she did to make sure that when there was no other way, that he wasn't on the street. And so that has stayed with me, I think, all the years that I've worked at Horizon House. That our neighbors don't necessarily have someone in their life that either has the ability, the means, or the desire to be able to help keep them in housing. So that is a huge part of my personal commitment to the work that we do. Part of what has kept me doing the work for so many years are the people. And I'm thinking about the neighbors that we serve that are so resilient. So many of them are so grateful for the smallest things. And the sometimes unimaginable things that they've endured, and that they keep going, and that they can have a smile on their face and get up from their shelter bed or their sleeping bag or the pavement every day and keep going, is just amazing to me. And it's very humbling. And it really, it just makes me want to work that much harder to do whatever little bit that I can do to try to make a better way for people that don't have a place to call home. Beyond the neighbors, it's the people that I get to work with, colleagues, co-workers at Horizon House, people that I've met at other agencies, a lot of them that are probably on this Zoom meeting tonight, people that just pour their heart and soul into it, and are there for each other. I have just met people in doing this work that it's just unbelievable. Sometimes the trauma that people doing the work experience, and they stay committed to the work. And I've been very aware of that in the last year in particular. It's been a really challenging year. It's been a challenging year for our neighbors in ways that beyond what we've normally experienced, and it's been challenging for the people that are doing the work. And I think seeing and experiencing what my colleagues are going through, my coworkers are going through, partly because of how close they are to the neighbors, how close they are to the day-to-day experiences that our neighbors are having, seeing and knowing people that are passing away, either before they get housed or after. That is just, it's incredibly powerful and motivating to be able to work alongside those people and say, what small part can I contribute? That really keeps me going. And I think about, what all of us can do. Partly, I think we can all be advocates. Anybody that knows what's going on with homelessness, what people are experiencing, and feels inside themselves that this situation shouldn't exist, that things should be different. I think what we can do is talk to people we know, talk to people we don't know, talk to people that are in decision-making roles, get involved and advocate. That's important because that's part of what's going to make a difference on a grander scale. On a smaller scale, obviously people can volunteer, particularly when we get beyond the pandemic. There are volunteer opportunities. donations, whether it be financial donations or supplies. Those are ways that people can actually do something to help. And the last thing that I would say about how we can all get involved to help is really examining our own role in inequity, whether we're talking about racial inequity, which is still such an extreme problem and challenge in our communities, or whether we're talking about economic inequity. We all have a role in paying attention to how do we contribute to those things and what can we do different, whether it's taking time to educate ourselves, taking time to reflect on our own thoughts and feelings and behaviors, and figuring out and then taking action. What small or large things can I do to reverse inequity? Because inequity is at the root of homelessness. So if we're going to, as a community, if we're going to overcome homelessness, we have to overcome the inequities that lead to people being homeless. And we all have a part to play in that. So that's what I encourage us all to do. And as for service providers, I just encourage all of us to keep in mind that the work that we are doing is so critical, it's so valuable, and it matters so much to the individual people that we're here to serve, that there's no room for mediocrity. There's no room for anything but excellence. And, all we can do is give it our best every day. We're not all 100% every day. None of us are 100% every day. But we can all approach the work by saying, my commitment is to do excellent work and to support other people in doing excellent work. Because that's what our neighbors deserve, and that's what they need us to do. I'm honored to be able to be a part of doing that work with everybody that's here tonight.